Hey, Daily Dosers, Chris here. I hope you are in the middle of a great summer already. I really, really do. But you know what? Even if you are or aren't, today is going to help. You say, what do you mean by that? If you're having a great summer, this is going to give you even more of a boost. If you're like, nah, today or maybe this week or this summer isn't going that great for me, this week is going to give you a boost. We are just going to take a look this week on the goodness of God. What is it we need to focus on? What is it we need to get in our life? And really the whole topic of this is thank you for today. God, how can we be more thankful? How can we have more joy, more contentment, more peace in our life? So to do that, let me read these verses to you, and then I want you to hear something that maybe you never connected or put together before, but it is so simple. I hope it's going to be just a aha moment for you. Are you ready for this? Here we go. We're in 1 Thessalonians 5. Very last chapter. Paul is writing to this church in Thessalonica, these group of people that has suffered and sacrificed so much, and he's trying to write this final paragraph. What is it you need to do? What is it you need to be? What is my last words of encouragement? And it says this in verse 16. So rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. Do not quench the Spirit. Oh, I love the way this thing ends. It's not just running down the end of a letter. It's not just famous last words. It's what he wants in their mind and therefore in our mind today. Can you just grasp this? Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances. Have you found that today it's hard to rejoice always? Have you found that living in this world, in this culture, there's so many things that I just don't find myself rejoicing. I find myself frustrated. I find myself heartbroken over. There's so much pain and hurt in our culture today. And I look at it and just go, man, how can I just be rejoicing always? And then how can you pray continually? Don't you have work to do? Don't you have things that you have to be about? Don't you have an agenda? Don't you have to drop kids off, pick kids up? How do you pray continually? We're just some monks in a monastery and someone brings in food and water for us, but we're just be praying always. And then he sums it up this: give thanks in every situation, in all circumstances. But here's that line that I missed for so many years. For this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. So many times we are people that are trying to find God's will. What's God's will for my job? What's God's will for my future, my finances? Maybe it's my schooling, for where we're going to live. Do we stay in California? Are we supposed to move? What is God's will for my life? What is God's will for my retirement? What is God's will for my health? What is God's will for my children, for their lives? We're searching for God's will, this cosmic understanding of you're supposed to go to point A, then B, C, D, E, F, G. When the Bible very clearly, just a handful of times says, this is God's will. What is God's will? To give thanks always. Whoa. If you're giving thanks always in every circumstance, isn't that actually prayer? Because you're giving thanks to who? To God. And talking to God is prayer. And if you're giving thanks always, which means you're in some sort of prayer, constantly giving thanks, then isn't that naturally going to produce the joy that we find it so hard to come by? Oh my gosh, you see what God's will is? Be people that go through life constantly looking at the things to be thankful for and giving thanks. I don't know what's going on in your life. I don't know what's in your family life. I don't know what's in your singleness right now or what's in your marriage. I don't know what the health situation is that you may be focusing on or scaring you. I don't know the financial situation. I don't know your future prospects, but here's what I know. Let me tell you what God's will for you is. See how I can say that with boldness, all the confidence. Let me tell you what God's will for you is. In everything you do today, just be giving thanks. God, thanks that I have a job. It might not be the job I want or the people I work with, but God, thanks that I have income. God, thanks for where I get to live, for how I get to live. Thanks for who's in my life. We've so many things to be thankful for. And if we're not strategic about it, the cares of this world, the hurt and the pains are going to be what we focus on. It's what we're all about. And no wonder then I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm hurt, and that's robbing me of joy. So I love the way Paul ends this. You want to be a person of joy in your life? You want to know how to pray continually? It's not being a monk in a cave somewhere and just meditating. Throughout your whole day, constantly be giving thanks to God. It's going to change your heart. It's going to change your mind. You're going to be in constant communion with God. And in the midst of that, you're going to find joy. And you know what you found? God's will for your life is this. Because when we have that, he's going to have the rest of our life. Today, go do God's will. You can do this.